Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights is a podcast about the Niantic game Ingress. Listen each week for the latest news, updates and rumours. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a voice message or emailing us at the links in the show notes.
Additional intel available.
Hello agents, welcome to episode 107 of the Ingress Insights podcast. In this week's episode, we'll be looking at the new badges we've got for the Plus Delta Anomaly series, as well as an update on the bounty campaign that's currently going on. Also going over mission days and what's the latest with Recon. It's not quite launched yet, but there is some news updates on it. Before I get into that, just some general podcast update news. Similar to other podcast digital creators, I've started a Patreon for the Ingress Insights podcast. So you can find that now at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. And you'll be able to see the tiers on there. So I've only got two tiers at the moment, one being $1 a month, one being $5 a month. If you've got anything spare, I'd appreciate obviously signing up, seeing what the benefits are. If you want any additional benefits on there, please feel free to let me know. It's just something I'm trying out to see how it goes. See if I can fund the podcast a little bit. There is also a free tier that you can sign up for on Patreon and all Patreons now. So you can sign up for that if you just want to follow along and see what's going on. But I'll link to that in the show notes now, and there'll be an updated outro at the end of the show that mentions it on there. Outside of that, I'm recording this episode a couple of days early because I'm going to be at a wedding over the weekend. So I didn't want to record an episode of the podcast drunk and get the PkmnTrainerJ results wrong or get anything incorrect on there. So I'm recording it a couple of days early, so I won't be covering the XM anomalies that are happening this weekend. I'll be covering those in the next episode. There is, however, some Plus Delta news to go over, so I'll get into that firstly.
What's up? This is Smooth Guy O, and you listen to the Ingress Insight podcast.
For Plus Delta, we obviously have the two XM anomalies going on this weekend. As I mentioned, I won't be covering those yet. Globally, however, we do still have the Plus Delta bounty op that's going on for another 35 days as I'm recording this episode. So for that, it's just completing 250 daily bounties as the maximum on there. And each one that you complete at 50, 100, 150, 200, 250 gets you 500 plus Delta points. And then completing all 5 gets you an extra 500. That obviously all goes towards your level on the Plus Delta badge. So you can get it at higher level like gold or silver. Just looking at the score at the moment, the global score is 49.14% to Enlighten versus 50.86% to Resistance. So it is very close on there. I've seen it flip and turn, one side running ahead, one side running behind. As I said, there is still 35 days to go as I'm looking at this, and you can obviously claim up to 4 daily bounties a day. So if you are a little bit behind, you should still be able to get everything on there and actually claim those, help your faction out, even if you're not on the ground in Melico or Portland this weekend. You can still help out your faction and help us get points on there. So they'll be split between the factions based on who scored the most. So make sure you're out completing your daily bounties now that you'll obviously get plus Delta tokens from that and some items now as well following that change. So it's all good stuff to play for on there. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, there have been 3 new badges added to the store. So these are the Asmarty 2025 medals. So these all cost 30,800 CMU. And there's the Asmarty 2025 bundle that gets you the yellow and purple face one. That comes with the badge, 3 Aegis Sealed, 2 Ito EN plus and 2 Ito EN minus. So there's no kinetic capsules in these and fracs in these. Usually that's what we're used to. Then there is the one for core subscribers only. That's the like orange yellowy face turning to the red face. That comes with the core medal that I've just mentioned on there. Again, 3 Aegis Shield, 2 Ito EN minus and 2 Ito EN plus. And then finally there's the one that's changing from the lighter yellow face, maybe a gold face it's meant to be, to a silver face. That might make sense for being elite. But it's the Asmarty Elite 2025 bundle. Again, comes with 3 Aegis Shield, 2 Ito EN minus and 2 Ito EN plus. So whether you think it's worth it to get those badges, you can obviously get them with your CMU. This does mean that we've got quite a lot of badges in the store. So at the moment, there's all the Plus Delta supporter badges, so 3 of those, the 4 Hank Johnson badges, and obviously the one from 2017 will show there if you don't have it. So at the minute, there's a total of 10 badges that are paid for in the store, plus there'll be a premium ticket coming up soon for the field op at the end of the month. And there's still another set of Carrie Campbell badges coming up, so that'll be an additional 3 badges, so 13 badges plus a premium campaign ticket. It's probably the most packed I've seen the Ingress store for a little while. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Obviously, there'll be multiple premium campaign tickets actually, so there'll be even more than that. So just have to see how packed the store is when that actually launches and when we've got the field op happening. But we've got no more details on that quite yet. But hopefully we'll get some soon. And then finally, for Plus Delta news, at the Portland Anomaly, the Ingress team is holding a special pre-sale for merchandise picked up at the Faction After Parties and the Mission Day group photo site. So they're selling all the things you'd usually expect to be able to buy on the Niantic Supply store when that was running. So things like the Epiphany Dawn kit, Ingress Origins kit, there's the mini comic bundle that I've seen before on there. And this sale is apparently functioning as a test run to try and cover the costs of flights of a team member attending the anomaly, and may pave the way forward for other events like an LL1331X van tour, so they could fill that with merch to cover the operational costs. It is noted that international shipping for the merch store will be added sometime after the Portland Anomaly 2, so presumably if they've got anything left, you'll be able to get that via international shipping, and that's just at ingressmerch.myshopify.com. So if you're going to Portland, you'll be able to pick up those from presumably the member of the Niantic team that's paying for their flights using that, and then be able to pick up things afterwards. Maybe this is paving the way for Niantic Supply to return as well and be able to ship things out. It was something that got bought up in the Scopely deal, so now I think it's just Pokemon Go merchandise.com instead, but it is the Niantic Supply site just with Pokemon Go t-shirts. It'd be nice to be able to get the kits and things like that again, like toast badges and all that kind of Ingress paraphernalia. But for now, it's just via the Portland Anomaly, and then afterwards you'll be able to get things shipped internationally. So I wonder how quickly those will all sell out. That's it for any Anomaly and Plus Delta news. So I'm moving to the little bit of general Ingress news we've got.
This is Shimon, former community manager for the Witcher Monster Slayer, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
After not having any for Q3, mission days have now returned for Q4 of 2025. So we have the first ones in Q4 on the 4th of August, one in Magdeburg, Germany, and one in Colonia del Sacramento in Uruguay. And then on the 19th of October, we've got the 2 for Anomaly mission days in Valencia, Spain, and Sao Paulo, Brazil. The following weekend is the 26th of October, again, Anomaly mission days in Wellington, New Zealand, and Houston, Texas, United States. November starts off on the 1st in Stuttgart in Germany and New York City in the USA. And that's followed on the 16th of November for the Anomaly mission days in Taiwan, Taiwan, and The Hague in the Netherlands. And then finally, we've just got the 2 in December. We've got one on the 6th of December in Kawamoto, Nara, Japan. And then the same day in Gorizia, Novogorica, Italy, Slovenia. I would assume these are the mission days that are meant to be held in Q3, besides obviously Anomaly ones that would have happened anyway. So there's no announcement yet about applying for ones for Q1 2025. I suspect that will be soon. But maybe the ones that were planned for Q4 will just carry over, and then it'll eventually be applied for Q2 2026 and go forward from there. But it's good to see mission days are back on. I expected they'd be down for quite a while after the team said they were shifting into Niantic Spatial and organising that all the time it took to get everything ready. But I'm glad to see that mission days have returned. That is the only bit of general Ingress news I've got, so I'm moving in and cover a bit about Recon next.
Hey, this is Sim, Global Product Marketing Lead for Peridot, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
2 bits of news about Recon this week. So the main bit is that it broke. At the moment, if you try to submit an edit, new portal nomination, or invalid portal report, you'll get a notification say submission failed, try again, and it doesn't seem to go through on the system. However, if you look on your app, you'll notice that the numbers are going down. So it seems to be going through, even though you didn't get a notification, you don't get an email. It seems like those edits are still making it to Recon, or at least coming off your total. Brian Rose and the Ingress team are aware of the issue and said they're looking into it, but when it will be fixed, I'm not sure. So you'll just have to hold off on any edits and new report nominations you've got planned for now. The second thing that happened is some agents started getting emails from Recon to say about their edits being accepted or rejected. And obviously, it encourages you to log in and check the contributions page, which you can't do at the moment. But it does seem that things are moving on. There's no agents reviewing in Recon at the moment. All the emails being received say our team. From my time doing Wayfarer, our team could mean either human reviewers that are looking at the system or the machine learning system that would either accept or reject things. I think at the moment on Wayfarer it just rejects, it doesn't accept anything automatically anymore since there are issues with that. So whether this is the team being trained on how to handle edits within Wayfarer, and then we start to see portal nominations moving through next, and then eventually agents getting access when they feel everything's up and ready. It seems like good progress, even though it's not really been announced what's happening. But it does feel like we're one step closer to Recon being a thing and being a proper replacement for Wayfarer for Ingress. That's all the news that I've really got for this week, agents. So I'll move in now and get things all wrapped up.
Hi, this is HP Lola, and you're listening to the Ingress Insights podcast.
Thank you for listening, agents. Next episode should be going over 2 sets of anomaly results, depending on the time, at the very least 1 set of anomaly results, and going over seeing what the current scores are in the Plus Delta Anomaly series after that. We'll also be under 2 weeks away from the Plus Delta Field Op, so hopefully we're getting some details about what we should be doing then and how many points we're earning, how many fields we should be making and breaking. Then for the podcast, I've put up a sort of poll on Blue Sky. You can't really have polls yet, but it asks you to go through and like the post that you want a special episode about. So there's other Niantic games, other AR games on there, and little extra bits. So I'll record one of those at some point based on whichever one gets the most likes by the end of next week. And that'll go out as a special episode at some point. And then finally, just a final reminder, there's now an Ingress Insights Patreon at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. You can either go for the $1 a month FitRep Rewards tier, or the SEER $5 a month tier, or you can just subscribe for free and then see all the updates on there. Lots of good things planned for that and things to go in future, and other tiers to try out and add things to, and just see how it goes, give it a try. Thanks again for all of your support and all your plays, listens, shares of the podcast, agents. Hope you have a great day and happy hacking. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find it at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates really helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.
Intel package transferred.